You ever just stumble across something online, maybe late at night, that just feels a little bit forbidden? Like you're not supposed to be reading it?
Oh, absolutely. It usually involves some rabbit hole I promised myself I wouldn't go down. What did you find this time, Thomas? Because your forbidden usually means it's going to keep me up tonight.
Okay, so this one's a classic in certain circles. Back in 1979, the story goes, someone supposedly found a classified manual tucked away inside an old IBM copier. And this manual was called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars.
Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars? That sounds like a movie title, or maybe a really intense video game. What on earth was it about?
Right? Super dramatic. But the content itself is what really caught me. It talked about psychological warfare. Not against armies, not countries really, but against everyone. Against the general population.
Psychological warfare on a mass scale? That's a pretty heavy claim, and you said it was classified.
Yeah, reportedly. And look, whether it's a genuine document or a brilliant piece of fiction almost doesn't matter, honestly. Because what it describes, what it outlines, it kind of looks a lot like the world we live in today. It's eerily prescient.
Okay, now you've got my attention. My initial reaction is skepticism, of course, but if it resonates with how things are now, then it's worth exploring. What was the blueprint it laid out?
Exactly. So the document basically says that modern life itself is the battlefield. And instead of bullets, the weapons are pressure. Think about it. Debt, deadlines, the constant doom scrolling we all do.
Oh, I feel that every single day. Just the sheer volume of things demanding my attention, not to mention the financial pressures. It's relentless.
Right, and the idea is that if you tighten credit here, raise prices there, flood people's feeds with fear or distraction, people naturally start to move the way you want them to, almost without realizing why. It's subtle manipulation on a grand scale.
So it's not about direct orders, but about creating an environment that steers behavior. That's actually a really chilling thought, because it implies we're all kind of being played without knowing it.
Precisely. The quiet war, as it calls it, isn't fought with guns and bombs. It's fought with our attention spans, our ability to focus, to think critically, to even just be present.
And our attention spans are certainly under attack. I mean, social media, the news cycle, everything feels designed to fragment our focus. It's like we're constantly reacting instead of truly engaging.
That's it. And it gets even darker. The writers of this document, they basically compare the general population to lab material, their words. The idea is apply stress, measure the break, then adjust the pressure to get the desired outcome.
Lab material? That's a dehumanizing way to look at people. It makes my skin crawl, honestly, like we're just subjects in some grand experiment.
It is. And think about it in real-world terms. Unemployment spikes, inflation burns through our savings, and what happens to people? We start freezing up. We get overwhelmed.
Yeah, you totally feel that collective anxiety. Everyone gets more cautious, less willing to take risks, more focused on just surviving day to day. It becomes harder to plan for the future when the present feels so unstable.
Exactly. And it's not because we're weak, necessarily. It's because our nervous systems are completely overloaded. Done. They've reached their limit.
So, this document suggests that this isn't just a byproduct of complex economics or global events, but a deliberate strategy to create paralysis, to prevent us from being able to effectively respond or organize.
That's the chilling implication. It's not peace, it's paralysis. A population that's constantly stressed, constantly overwhelmed, is a population that's easier to manage and less likely to question the status quo.
Okay, that's genuinely alarming. It's like a soft form of tyranny, where you don't even realize you're being controlled because you're too busy trying to keep your head above water.
And here's where it gets really wild and, frankly, very familiar. They said the goal was to keep people busy and confused. Specifically, to feed them data but never context, to drive emotions up and logic down.
Oh my gosh. That's literally every social media feed, every 24-hour news cycle. It's an endless stream of isolated facts, often sensationalized, without any broader understanding of what they actually mean.
Right? They wanted to keep us entertained, while all the important decisions, the real maneuvering, happened somewhere we couldn't see, somewhere we weren't paying attention.
So, bread and circuses, but updated for the digital age. Give them endless content, keep them scrolling, keep them emotionally engaged with superficial things so they don't look at the deeper currents.
Exactly. And they even wrote this line, and this one really haunts me. Create problems only the controllers can solve.
Create problems only the controllers can solve. Wow, that's incredibly cynical, and also incredibly effective if you think about it. It creates a perpetual state of dependency.
It implies a kind of manufactured crisis, where the very people who created the mess then present themselves as the only ones with the solution, thereby consolidating their power even further.
It makes me think about how sometimes, in political discourse, problems are framed in such a way that only one specific ideology or leader seems to have the answer, shutting down other perspectives.
Precisely. And it's not just governments either. History is absolutely full of examples of teachers, leaders, movements that started with a spark of light, a good intention, and ended up with followers drinking poison, sometimes literally, sometimes metaphorically.
You're talking about cults, essentially, or movements that become so insular and dogmatic that they lose touch with reality.
Yeah, every cult, every corrupted movement, they all use a similar playbook. It's the same trick. Exhaust you, isolate you, break you down, until obedience feels like relief, until giving up your autonomy feels like a weight being lifted.
That's a really deep insight, because when you're at your weakest, you're most vulnerable, you're looking for an easy answer, a strong hand to guide you, and that's when you're most susceptible to manipulation.
Right? It's MK Ultra without the lab coats, without the explicit torture. It's a softer, more insidious form of control because it comes disguised as salvation, as belonging, as relief from the very pressures that were perhaps manufactured in the first place.
That's a powerful comparison. The MK Ultra without the lab coats. It truly makes you question how much of our perceived reality is truly organic and how much is engineered. So, if this quiet war is real, what's the countermove? How do we fight back against something so pervasive and subtle?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And thankfully, wisdom traditions throughout history have given us some incredible answers. The Bhagavad Gita, for example, says, "Endure the seasons, Arjuna. They come and go."
Endure the seasons. I like that. It immediately brings a sense of perspective. Things aren't permanent, good or bad.
Exactly. The translation there is, pressure isn't permanent. You feel it, you acknowledge it, but you don't fracture under it. You don't let it break you down. It's about resilience and understanding that these external forces are cyclical.
That makes so much sense, because the stress isn't just going to magically disappear, but our reaction to it can change. We can choose not to be swept away by it.
And the Dhammapada adds another layer, saying, hatred never ends by hatred. By love alone it ends. This isn't about some naive, saccharine kind of love. It's about not letting the negativity, the fear, the anger that these systems try to inject into us define our response.
So when everything screams fight or flee, which is what stress does to us, wisdom whispers stay present. That's a powerful distinction. It's an internal battle for our attention and our emotional state.
It is. It's about maintaining that inner equilibrium. And here's where it gets really deep. Because real awakening and total dissociation can actually look pretty similar from the outside. Both states can appear calm, detached even.
That's a profound point. How do you tell the difference? Because I can imagine someone who's completely checked out, numb to everything, might seem serene to an outsider.
Exactly. But one is clarity, that true awakening, that deep understanding of reality. The other is collapse, a kind of internal shutdown. One sees emptiness and feels connected to everything. The other sees emptiness and feels absolutely nothing at all.
So, a monk achieves a state of emptiness and finds peace and connection, a sense of belonging to the universe. But someone who's experienced severe trauma might also feel empty, but it's a terrifying, isolating emptiness, devoid of feeling.
Perfectly put. It's the same landscape, but entirely different travelers, experiencing it in fundamentally opposite ways. One is a state of being fully alive and aware, even if detached from superficial concerns. The other is a state of being shut down, of not being truly alive.
That makes so much sense. It's about what's happening internally, not just the outward appearance. It's not about being emotionless, but about being able to experience emotions without being consumed by them.
Precisely. And that's why control systems, whatever form they take, actually fear one thing above all else. A human who can feel everything and still stay centered. Someone who isn't swayed by the external pressures or the manufactured fear.
Because if you can't be manipulated by fear, then what weapon do they have left? If you've seen through the illusion of fear, it loses its power over you.
Exactly. You can't sell fulfillment to someone who already feels whole. You can't convince them they're missing something, that they need that new gadget or that particular political savior. if they're already internally complete?
So, presence then, the ability to be fully in the moment, to be centered, to be whole within yourself, that's the ultimate counterweapon. It disarms the silent weapons.
It is. It's the ultimate act of rebellion in a world that profits from our distraction and our fragmentation. It's not about fighting fire with fire, but about finding an unshakable ground beneath your feet.
I mean, it sounds simple, but it feels incredibly difficult in practice, given everything we just talked about that's trying to pull us away from it.
It is. Maybe the quiet war never really ended, you know? Maybe it's not some grand, secret scheme that's only now being uncovered. Maybe it's every single morning we wake up and decide whether to immediately pick up our phone and scroll, or to take a deep breath and just be present for a moment.
That's such a powerful reframing. It's not out there somewhere, it's right here, right now, in our daily choices. Each moment is asking us a question.
It is. Each moment asks, will you choose presence or absence? Will you lean into wholeness or allow fragmentation to take hold? Will you surrender to the noise or find your quiet center?
And it's comforting, in a way, to know that the path back to presence, to that sense of wholeness, is still open. It always has been. It's not something that needs to be created or discovered anew, just remembered.
Exactly. It's not about achieving some enlightened state overnight. It's about those small, conscious choices throughout the day. The only real question is, do we have the courage to actually walk that path?
The courage to choose to be present, even when everything else is pulling us away. That's a challenge I think we all face daily. This has given me so much to think about, Thomas.
Me too, Lydia. And if this episode gave you something to reflect on, something to think about beyond the usual distractions, take a moment. Pause before you dive into the next scroll. Maybe share this with just one person who you know is also trying to stay awake, trying to stay human in what can feel like a very sleepy world.
Great advice. And remember to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back next time to explore more ideas that hopefully help us all navigate this wild world with a bit more clarity.
Absolutely. For now, take a breath, stay present, and we'll meet you in the next one. Stay human, everyone.